All right, guys, here we go. Last part of this this unit, looking at presenting information. So we've looked at gathering information, analyzing information, synthesizing, and now we're going to look at presenting information. So some do's and don'ts to presenting information. Presenting. So we're not going to have you do that. Okay. So as it says, making presentations is frequently required in post-secondary education. Yeah, absolutely. Gotta get information together and present it. So we're going to look at a few presentations, characteristics of good presentations. You kind of know what they are. My favorite thing is to count how many times a presenter uses the word while they're talking. But let's take a look at the good and bad versions here.
Well, I thought it was tomorrow night. No, it's tonight. But she said it's tomorrow night. No, I'm sure what she said was that it's tonight. Well, anyway, yeah. Yes, I will. No, I won't forget. I'll get some done. Yes, I'll get some too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll let you know. Okay, bye. Bye. Okay. Shall I sleep? Right. Finance. Let's look at a P&L. How does this work? We've got this. Now that's it. Okay. So let's look at a P&L. This is a P&L, and this one is for FY 2013. FY? Y is financial year.
So sorry, what is P&L?
P&L? Yeah, well, P&L is profit and loss account. So I'm glad everybody knew that. Anyway, the point about this one is that GP is 17% of turnover.
I don't understand GP.
And I don't really understand turnover.
I'm sorry, I don't understand anything.
Well, it's all really difficult. Anyway, let's talk about the balance sheet. So that's the balance sheet. The company has a strong capital structure, and there's no problem with the debt-equity ratio, and it has very strong liquidity. So that's it, really. If there are, I'm sure there are some questions. Well, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, welcome to LSI. I know that some of you have come quite a long way. Kerry has come from Chichester, and Nick, you are Nick, aren't you? Nick has come all the way from London. Let me say, I know that it can be difficult studying during a working day. And I also know that today's topic sometimes terrifies people. Sometimes it terrifies me. But I also know that all of you have important reasons for studying it. So I'll try to be clear and to make it as simple and easy as possible. I'm Des O'Keefe. I'm one of the team of executive teachers here at LSI. And it's my pleasure to be talking to you about, and in some cases, I know, introducing you to the subject of finance. I know that finance and the language of finance can be confusing. So, please feel free to interrupt me and ask questions if I do confuse you. So let's think about this question. What do financial people do in an organisation? Well, I think there are three areas, and therefore I've divided my talk into three parts. These parts are control, reporting, and providing advice and information. So let's look at the area of control. So if there are no further questions, I think that covers the area of control. Let's now move on to reporting. It's important to understand that business organisations report in two ways. They report externally and they report internally. Let's take a look at external reporting. A company's external reporting consists of three main statements. And just notice that we use the word statement to refer to reporting of what's actually happened. The three main statements are the profit and loss account, the balance sheet, and what is normally called the funds flow statement. So, the first statement we look at is the profit and loss account.
Excuse me, in my company we have an income statement.
Okay, so Karen's asking about a statement called the income statement. It's an excellent question, and I'm glad you asked it. The word income causes confusion because in the US it refers to what we would call profit. Okay, so I think that's all I need to say about the sort of advice that financial people normally give. And I think that concludes my presentation. So thanks for your attention. Does anybody have any final questions?
All right. So some obvious, while the topic might not be riveting to me, there's definitely a component of preparedness that you could notice from one to the other. So identify some things that the presenter was not doing well. And then what did you see the presenter doing that was good? So it is something that may cause anxiety for everyone. I mean, you get better, and the more prepared you are, the better the presentation goes. There are some techniques that can help with emotional strain, and then we're going to look at a video about how to be a confident public speaker. So.
Okay, just get up on that podium. All right, I'm here. That was easy. Now I just need to, oh my gosh! How many people are in the audience? 100? 1,000? Don't count. Okay, I can do this. I'm gonna focus on my notes. What did I have written down again? Hello. Okay, if this sounds like your worst nightmare, you're not alone. Actually, you're one of the estimated 70% of the population that has an intense fear of public speaking. And that's okay, because on today's Wellcast, we've got our triple P method that will get you through and get you calm during that next oral report and keep your breakfast where it belongs. You ready? Many polls list public speaking as the most commonly reported phobia among Americans. It's called glossophobia, meaning literally fear of the tongue. A study by Texas Christian University tested 48 women and 48 men enrolled in a public speaking class and found that those who exhibited high trait anxiety had the most physical symptoms of distress when speaking publicly. So, what if you're the kind of person whom any bit of social acrobatics is tantamount to entering a lion's den? Hey, calm down. Okay, I'm just kidding. But seriously, calm down, all right? We've got our triple P method that'll get you through that next public speaking gig. Pause and print this Wellcast worksheet. Step 1, prepare, prepare, prepare. We said it 3 times because it's that important.
There are 2 things that go into being prepared. Number 1, knowing your subject backwards and forwards. 2, knowing exactly how you're going to present it step by step. In your Wellcast worksheet, write down the major points that you want to get across to the audience. Get the ideas out of your head and onto the paper.
And the next column to the right. Start ordering these points in a logical manner, arguing your point to the audience and winning them over is like a boxing match. First, start with some fancy footwork, a fact or an anecdote that will hook the audience in and get them to pay attention to you. Then, throw a couple of swings, supporting evidence for your argument, stats, personal stories. Something that will start to convince the audience that you're taking control. And finally, the knockout. A landing blow of statements that's memorable, convincing, and sums up your speech's position. All right, step 2. Posture and physicality are key. Part of keeping your anxiety at bay while giving your speech is knowing what to do with your body.
Before your speech, avoid live meals or dairy products, which will make you feel like you need to clear your throat incessantly. Bring a bottle of water on stage if you're allowed. Don't be afraid to take sips throughout your speech. It'll keep your voice natural, and it gives you a moment to pause and regain your composure if needed. Stand naturally, not too stiff or slumped. Good posture will help you breathe and speak easier, and it'll let your audience know that you're calm and in control.
Step 3, pander to your audience. The best public speakers know how to work the room. Don't be completely serious unless the occasion calls for it. Don't read entirely out the cards. Keep a natural cadence and pace. Throw a joke or a side in. It'll draw in a laugh. If there's a silence, then turn that into a joke. Stay natural, self-effacing, and the audience will be on your side. Let's recap. You'd rather face a poisonous reptile than public speak, huh? Well, follow the Wellcast Triple P checklist. Prepare extensively for your speech. Know your content backwards and forwards, and figure out the absolute best way to present it and to win over your audience. Watch your posture and physicality. This includes everything from standing naturally to breathing from your diaphragm.
And pander to your audience. Keep them in the palm of your hand, and with an easy demeanor, natural cadence, and of course, jokes.
Tweet us at WatchWellcast. Email us at watchwellcast@gmail.com.
There we go. Some good tips. Alrighty. So what are 3 elements of the Triple P technique? And what else did you find helpful in the video and why? All right, so as it says, a great presentation is critical because the presentation at the end is, if the presentation at the end is ineffective, all the work that is done to gather, analyze, and synthesize the information will not be heard or understood. So, yeah, if you don't give a good presentation, we're just not going to be effective in getting our point across. So here we go. Gather, analyze, synthesize, and present information. So there are some tips and techniques, some basic skills that you guys practice on, hopefully, back in the classroom. We'll see you soon. That's it.